I do have some SACDs and even Blu-ray CDs now.
Yeah.
Or computer,
Yeah,
right?
MP3.
Or actual digital,
Yeah, MP3.
So those are my sources now. Unfortunately, I don't
Yeah.
even have my turntable anymore. My daughter does, obviously, but I don't. She's got hers at college.
Wow. Well, maybe you'll have to get another turntable because they're selling them
One
now.
of these days.
Yeah. Well, did you know that just a few days ago, the 17th, was the 51st anniversary of the Mothman sighting, where the Silver Bridge collapsed?
I did not, and that is still, to this day, one of the strangest, most compelling paranormal tales. I mean, people just swear to the reality of those Mothman visitations as being a harbinger for the disaster that then befell the community.
Yeah, 1966, when they saw the Mothman in the TNT area, or they saw the Mothman right before the bridge collapsed. But up until that point, people were seeing it everywhere, and most notably was in the World War II TNT plant, where those kids allegedly outran the Mothman in their vehicle. And a lot of other tragedies, people have claimed to seen the Mothman. I've even heard people say that they've seen the Mothman prior to 9/11.
Wow. I can't remember if I'd heard that or not. But, I mean, to make it that much more contemporary, you've had, for over the last couple of years now, you've had a number, many, it's not exactly Mothman. They're calling it kind of like a winged humanoid is how they're basically describing it. Sightings all around the Chicago area. I mean,
that's right. I forgot
dozens
about that.
of them. We got to ask Heidi about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That for the longest time, people were seeing that thing flying around Chicago, and the reason why the Silver Bridge collapsed is I guess, the stoplight at the end of the bridge had malfunctioned, and it was stuck on red. And of course, vehicles kept coming onto the bridge, not knowing it, and created some type of a gridlock.
Right,
and it couldn't handle all the weight of the vehicles on the bridge, and it eventually gave way.
They all piled up on the bridge.
They did. That was
really terrible. How many people were killed?
Oh, man. Looking for on here if it gives me a death toll in this article or not. I'm looking for how many. It does talk about John Keel. He's the guy that the movie was based on, but Richard Gere.
His book.
Yeah, right. his book. Which, did you like the movie?
I liked it pretty well. I thought it was pretty compelling. I mean, it felt, it was plausible. It was. I never said, nah, no way, this is all crap. You know what I mean? It really felt. It felt plausible. I forget, kind of what percentage of the film is really, supposed to be based on reality. Somewhat, anyway. I mean, it's a movie. It's a Hollywood movie. But I thought it was a good movie. The thing that I'm unclear on, and maybe it's because there is no final decision, what is sort of the agreed upon assessment of what the Mothman is or was? What is it?
Mothman. Well, okay. First, I found to answer your question, 46 people died.
Wow!
On the Silver Bridge during that collapse. That's
truly disastrous.
That is big. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
And the Mothman basically is would fall into the cryptid category more than anything else. I mean,
is it just a cryptid though, or is it some sort of supernatural entity?
I think it kind of straddles the line. I've heard both.
That's exactly. I've heard both. I've heard even possibly an alien. Some sort of alien, cryptid, supernatural. Because if you're going to have, if it's functioning as some sort of harbinger, of the future, of events to come, there would have to be some kind of, supernatural or at least parapsychological aspect to it. Couldn't just be some sort of creature, I wouldn't think.
Yeah,
right?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I'm looking right now over here at the Lauren Coleman site, and he is one of the foremost researchers on Mothman, and I'm looking for his what he thinks it might have been here. And of course, it's the West Virginia folklore Mothman as a creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area November 12th, 1966 to December 15th, 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register dated November 16th, 1966, titled "Couple See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something Strange," it says. The national press soon picked up on the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. Now, I'm looking for a definitive answer what Mothman may or may not have been. He does fall into, according to Lauren Coleman, a cryptid category rather than a supernatural, more of a cryptid. So what it is here, if I could fix my headphones here. Hold on, bear with me. A little short and old switch there for a second. There we go. Hold on. There we go. Now I sound much better, right? Okay. What it was is, see, there's also been some controversy whether maybe Mothman was in fact an alien.
Yeah, but you had the glowing red eyes. I don't know who was supposed to be making those phone calls, like in the movie. Remember, you had those phone calls. I mean, how could a cryptid make phone calls?
Well, you wouldn't think it really could. That never made sense to me. Then they don't really explain that in the movie. The phone call making person.
No, they don't.
You know.
They leave it very ambiguous. I mean, the implication is definitely that it has supernatural aspects to it, at least in the film. So it sounds like there isn't any real kind of final consensus. So you have, I mean, the common elements were the glowing red eyes, this head that kind of looks like, an insect of some sort, very large size. I don't know what, 6-7 feet, I guess, body size. Yeah. And then wings. Yeah,
big wingspan. And they saw this allegedly in the TNT area. And again, people around Point Pleasant were seeing it. And then really they saw it flying around right before the Silver Bridge.
Wasn't it even supposedly perched on top of it?
Yeah. People saw it flying around and perched on top of it. Of course, skeptics don't agree with any of that. They think it's all hoaxes. It's a big hoax, which of course you would expect that they were. I know Joe Nickel, he is pretty notable saying it could have been a barred owl.
That would have been one big ass owl.
That would have been a huge owl. I have a hard time believing an owl.
Owl come on. People aren't that.
That's dumb. The same. That's as good as answer as weather balloon.
Come on. I mean, it's something happened, and I don't know what it was. I don't pretend to know what it was. I don't pretend to know what the Mothman is, but, I mean, when that many people saw it, something's going on. Also, again, we've had this recurrence of something similar. We've had it's similar size, it's the winged humanoid, glowing eyes, many, many reports in and around Chicago over the last couple years. So I'm wondering, is there if anything, is the connection, between those events, between Point Pleasant and the Chicago area?
Yeah, I wonder if there is a connection. I do know now they do have a big shindig in Point Pleasant since 2002 dedicated to the Mothman.
Yeah, a festival.
Yeah, festival, and the statue, of course, was unveiled, and it's a 12-foot tall metallic statue of the creature created by an artist. And his name is Bob Roach, is the guy that made that. And people still strongly believe that the Mothman, of course, is still in the area. There are still some sightings here and there.
Yeah, and the notion, of some sort of entity being a harbinger of things to come. Usually it's disaster. Mm-hmm. I mean, that goes back thousands of years.
Yeah, it does. It does. Oh, Mothman
takes many different forms.
Yeah, I mean, the banshee?
A banshee, exactly,
is a harbinger. A raven can be considered one as well if it's pecking at your window.
Right.
There's a lot of them throughout history that kind of, foreshadow doom.
And many are tied to the holidays. We talked about how Halloween, kind of the main activity surrounding Halloween until really just the last 100 years or even less, was prognostication, was looking into the future. And that has always been very, very strongly tied to the Christmas/New Year's. Really, it's about New Year's season as well, trying to tell the future and all kinds of different, games and activities and methods for doing that. And part of that, along with that, or built into that, does include some entity type creatures or ghosts or whatever that would help you foretell the future.
So this year, what we're going to be doing for the show is, for the New Year's, what we're going to do is we're going to write on Facebook. We're going to get everyone's predictions of what they believe is going to happen in 2019. And next year, this time, whoever is the closest to gain the prediction correct, we're going to send them a bunch of books in the mail.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, whoever the winner is, we'll get some pretty good swag out of us. We got a lot of awesome books, courtesy Llewellyn, that we got to start giving away anyway. So we would like to do that. We're going to also have some other giveaways throughout this coming New Year as well. I just talked to Llewellyn, and they're going to be pitching some books our way to do some giveaways again. So that'll be good.
Excellent. Yeah, they always have a lot of stuff coming out.
They do. Get some giveaways going, that kind of stuff. Any quick prediction, put you on the spot for 2019, Eric?
Well, I know we've pretty assiduously avoided political talk, and that's fine with me because it's just, it's endless and it's so contentious. But I would have to say I do think we're going to see some dramatic changes at the national government level in 2019.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. It just seems that way.
It was sure picking up steam all through 2018. And now as we end 2018, we are poised. We got a new Congress coming in. We have a democratically controlled House coming in. We have all this going on, all this activity, all these indictments, all these reports from the Mueller team, and it just seems to be really all picking up steam and coming to a head. And I'm not saying that we will literally have a change in the government, at the head of government, but I think we will see some dramatic movement in that direction in 2019.
I think that aliens are going to finally make contact in 2019.
Wow, that's bold.
You might as well shoot for the stars. You know what I mean?
Literally.
You may as well. I don't know, either that or that's either going to happen or we're going to see more conflict. Things rise, unfortunately, in the Russian area. Aggressions keep going on,
They keep pushing.
So
they just keep prodding and poking and pushing and seeing what they can get away with.
The latter, I hope, does not come to pass, but the former, the first one, man, absolutely, bring on the little green men.
How cool would that be?
That would be awesome. Wouldn't it be awesome to finally have them land, like right in Times Square, saying, yep, we're real. We've been real this whole time.
I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to see that in my lifetime, but I'll tell you what, I am almost 100% sure we are going to find some form of life not on Earth, and it could be very nearby. I mean, it could be as close as the moon.
Yeah.
I doubt the moon. But I
think Mars.
Mars looks very, very starting to look very likely. There is something beneath that surface.
There is.
If you have water, and sure you have much greater temperature extremes than on Earth, but it's still within a somewhat reasonable temperature range, and the temperature range is of course much lower, smaller. A narrower range beneath the surface. So if you have water beneath the surface of Mars, and we know, a lot about Mars history, it just seems to me there's some little bugs running around that close by.
Some type of
nearest
life.
planet.
Yep,
nearest
some
planet.
some type of life. I'm sure if we actually have boots in the ground and really are able to explore, we very well might find